welcome to BoardInsiders, your snowboard resource.
I wouldn't recommend it to someone who doesn't want to have fun.
The camber profile on this board is dual camber zones, meaning that there's reverse camber between your feet, camber underneath each of your feet, and then once again it's going to come back down so the contact points, if you have equal weight distribution on both feet, you'll get your contact points.
The rocker was good. That's on the positive side, is it was made it a little bit easier to ride through chattery stuff and through some of the little bit of powder we have here today, because it did kind of want to float.
And the Super Pop core really makes this board just pop. I mean, really does, especially for being dual camber. If you really if you preload your heel, this thing will go 3 feet in the air all on its own. So it was great for the park.
I think of pop in two different respects. The first kind of pop is off of a kicker or a booter. Having that reverse camber between your feet kind of gives you a little bit of extra lift when you're leaving the lip off of a jump and you're not really ollieing so much as you're just kind of lifting your legs up off of the ground. A lot of pop there in the middle of the board, and then you again also have a lot of pop in the tip and tail as well, which is awesome. You can really load up the tail, really load up the nose, and just spring off of either.
It was a lot of fun. It was really poppy and really soft, so like you could just play around on this thing all day.
I loved that a couple times I landed in the back seat on this and it brought me right down smoothly into a landing, so that doesn't happen with a lot of boards. I liked that.
What I liked most about this board was the fact that the edges were so stable that you could bounce. If you're on a real steep hill, you know, in some moguls or on a real steep icy hill, you can get those edges dug in real good and bounce from your heel to your toes on steep hills real well.
It's a stable board handle speed well. When you get up to about Mach 2.5, it starts to wander and chatter a little bit.
The edges had good edge hold at speed, is pretty fast.
It was really fast. It was pretty stable at high speeds.
I ride all mountain freestyle, and I would really recommend this board for that. This board is great. Like I said, big carves, little carves. It has a lot of flexibility.
I would say it's a fairly decent all mountain shape. Someone who likes to ride all day. It's a pretty efficient design, I think.
Would recommend this board for big mountain riding. You know, in the powder, steep, crusty hills, and yeah, that's where I would take this board. If you're a big mountain rider, then this is probably the board for you.
I gave it a shred cred of 82 because for an all-mountain freestyle board, I really felt that there were other boards out there that could really do everything that this board did, but at higher levels and higher degrees.
Gave it an 89. There's other stuff that I like better. Yep, this is a good solid board. Just doesn't really spin my dials.
Shred cred, I gave it 80 out of 100 because it wasn't the board for me.
I gave it an 89. Felt it was a really good board overall. Just the edge. I feel like if it had magnet traction, it would be just probably like 10 times better.
I gave this board an 80, and that is not one of the highest scores I've given out.
The shred cred, I gave it a 96 because definitely the funnest board I've been on yet. I just liked it everywhere I went. It felt good in the powder, park, and on the groomers.
A 90 shred cred, once again, it's just because it has its limitations with the reverse camber. Say landing a big jump, you're gonna have the tendency to want to revert unless you really land even on both feet. But it's just a super fun board to ride, a super fun camber profile, and I had a great time on the board.